Welcome back to SnowRunner, guys, and today we are going to be having a look at the GWC aka Glitchworks Bulldog Colossus. Bulldog obviously referring to the original Mack that this truck was based on. Now, this truck is meant to be one of the most versatile and capable trucks that you could have in your modded campaign lineup. And as of very recently, this truck was also added to the console mod browser, so you can use this truck on your Xbox and or PlayStation systems, of course along with PC. Now, we're going to be walking through the customization features of this truck, as well as testing out some of its capabilities off-road, right here on the Summer Testing Grounds map. So let's go ahead and fire it up, listen to that air-powered starter, and see what this thing is all about. I believe this is also the only truck in SnowRunner to ever have a starter like that at all. I'm pretty sure, and someone could correct me in the comment section down below if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not about the fact that that air-powered starter is a first of its kind in SnowRunner. So let's go ahead and jump into the customization right off the bat. Now, right off the bat, you're going to get this stock 2-stroke inline-6 turbo diesel. Then you have a two-stroke 71TA V8. Then you have the 2-stroke V12 turbo, which is basically an absolute monster. And it's pretty much going to go through everything in its path. There's really nothing standing in the way of this thing. Now you have a 9/10 speed default, you have an 8-speed off-road, and 10-speed highway. We are going to actually start with the 10-speed highway because it also includes a high and low range. Now suspension-wise, you have two options, normal height, as well as lifted. The lifted one is definitely going to be probably the more effective choice, especially if you're going to use this as one of your primary trucks throughout a map playthrough. Now, tires-wise, you obviously have your standard assortment of highway tires. These actually have a really nice offset with the fenders, basically the fender line, and they sit really nicely flush, or at least pretty close to it, which looks really, really good. Then you have your all-terrain options, and then you get into your mud tires, which that begins to show you your extreme mud tire options. Now, the 55-inch extreme mud tires are definitely going to be our first choice. I definitely, when I drove this truck around earlier, I really enjoyed driving it with those tires, and they really did contribute very nicely to the way the truck drove. Now, if you want, you can also go with these 54-inch monster tires, but I feel like they're a little bit too over the top for what I'm planning on using this truck for, but that's not at all to say that I don't think they're a great option. I absolutely do, and if you're going to use this truck in more of a playground environment, go for it. Absolutely go for it. Now, you also have your chained tire options if you're going to be using this truck in an icy or snowy environment, and now we move on to winches. So we're going to go with the, let's see, I'm thinking stage 4 winch. And then frame add-ons wise is where this thing gets extremely widely usable. So obviously you have your 320 heavy crane, your log carrier front, your log loader crane as well, both flatbeds, a short one and a long one. Then your van body add-on as well as a logging frame, maintenance frame, seismic fiber module, as well as a sideboard bed and a long sideboard bed, fuel tank, extended fuel tank, LC 3.8 loading crane, medium log carrier, saddle high, logging saddle, which is a saddle specifically for the IX logging trailers, and a saddle low as well. So as you can see, we have a ton of options here, like literally more options than I would know what to do with personally. So we're actually going to go ahead and throw, let's see, I want to have a fairly decent, assortment of modifications here. So let's go with the van body add-on, and then we'll throw a trailer behind it to kind of give it that little bit of extra usability. But let's take that off for just a quick moment to see what else we can do with the truck. So we can add an arrow sleeper to it, but we could also leave it blank back there if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and add an arrow sleeper and see how that does when we go back to the frame add-ons and throw the service body on there. Okay, so basically it makes it so that you have less space at the back. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to not do that, and I'm going to take the arrow sleeper off, then go back here, throw the van body add-on back on, and that way we'll have extra space for trailers. So I'm going to throw the front mud flaps on it as well as the snorkels. And let's see, slant cut exhaust or turn back exhaust. Let's do a slant cut exhaust. And again, not going with the sleepers. And I actually really like all of these bumpers, but the logging bumper is my personal preference. Although if you're going to be pulling heavy trailers, I would suggest the road train bumper because it does have extra weight and is really useful for keeping the front axle down. Now, roof-wise, we have quite a few options up here, actually. You can throw the visor on it, and I'm also going to do the, let's see, the cab lights. I think they look really, really good. You got some old-school wheel choices as well as some modern wheels. I'm going to go with old-school wheels number 1 because I think they look really, really good. Now, you do have some solid colors as well as some striped colors as well. I really like the way the striped colors look, and I definitely think that they're worth checking out and worth using, especially, you know, even if you're not necessarily a big fan of stripes on your trucks, definitely give these striped colors a look because they are definitely worth at least, you know, glancing at. Now, let's leave the garage and see what this thing looks like when we throw a trailer behind it. Because once again, we're trying to push this thing to its limits in terms of capacity, so let's see how she does. So I'm gonna have to actually face it back towards this direction so we have room to hook a trailer up to it. We may also have to back up a bit. Now let's see. The IX 8-slot high saddle may just have enough room to turn. I don't know. Let's see. The orange one? Oh man, that'll actually fit with this thing really well. It's kind of a darker shade of orange, but not really too worried about it. Actually, well, I don't know. I feel like I can make that look a little bit better. I feel like I can make that look a little bit better. I really do. Let's see. 8-slot low saddle. 8-slot low saddle purple. High saddle camo. Saddle high is required but cannot be installed. Oh, it's because it auto-installed the low saddle. That's fine. We'll go ahead and uninstall it. And we just have to find it first. Let's go down the list. And let's see, saddle low. We'll install saddle high, and then we'll go. And I know that it could technically install it by itself, but I'm just going to go ahead and install the 8-unit high saddle white trailer, and we'll go from there. Now, normally I would do an open trailer, but I kind of want to test this thing's weight capacity by throwing a bunch of heavy stuff in there. So we're going to do... Where is the concrete? All right. Let's see, concrete slabs, some properly freaking heavy stuff. So boom, 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 boom. And now we are fully loaded. Let me just go ahead and verify. Yep, trailer 8 out of 8. We are fully loaded with concrete slabs behind us. So this is really gonna put this thing to the test. Now I can already tell you that the front axle is starting to get a little light. It's starting to get, it's starting to actually come off the ground, even with the weighted bumper up front. So we're definitely trying to see what we can work with here. Let me back it up. All right, we're already having issues turning. So that means that we've already found kind of its weight limit, kind of the, you know, the height of its weight capacity. And I'm trying to see if I can, all right, if you could get to the left for me, please. If you could get to the left for me, please. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your willingness to work with me on this difficult terrain. It's actually not that difficult of terrain, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Now, let's make our way to the left and see how it does if we blast it into high with this top engine through the water and see if it... Oh, yeah, okay. That's too much. Now, it does have diff lock on all the time, though, which really does help it. I think it helps it a lot. My only thing is, you know, is it going to actually be able to get through some of these obstacles with that much weight behind it? I mean, look at how much that front axle is coming off the ground. And also, going up hills, I feel like that would be a tremendous issue. Now, I do have to say that... Oh, come on. Really? All right, I can't really turn with that much weight behind it. I do feel like I would like a slightly more weighted bumper up there, but I really am putting this thing, you know, to the actual freaking test. I'm taking it to a level that it probably isn't meant to be taken to right now, but God, look at that, though. I mean, I love the way this thing looks. I absolutely love the way this thing looks. And all of those drive axles, I mean, think about it. Every single axle on this thing is driven. All 5 axles, even though, weird thing, even though the one in the front doesn't actually have a diff, it is all-wheel drive engageable, so even though it doesn't look like a driven axle, I assure you it is. My God, the size of it, though. The actual, get the camera out of the ground. My God, the size of the thing. I'm still mind blown about the size of this thing. It's so incredibly huge. All right, let's go ahead and make our way a little bit further down this road if we can try to keep our front axle on the ground, because that's proving to be very, 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 very difficult. You kind of have to overcompensate with how much you adjust the truck when you back up, because when you go to turn going forward, it won't actually steer as much as you think it's going to steer. Let's see how it does in the actual deep mud. Now, I feel like in the deep mud, it's probably going to do okay because it does have all this weight behind it, and it's also got the service body, but I've been surprised by vehicles before that I thought would do well and then didn't do well, so we'll see how this goes. And again, we are at kind of the maximum extreme of what this thing would be hauling, but again, I really wanted to put it to the test. So let's dive down into the swamps real quick and see how she gets on down in there. And we'll throw it in high. It's not going to go very far in high. I can already tell you that right now. It's doing better than you might expect, though. I mean, it's got all that weight behind it, and this would be right at about the limit of what I would be using this truck for, really and truly. So let me see. Let me go into low. It's doing well in low. It's actually doing awesome in low. Now, if you're going to use it in a really, really muddy environment, I would probably recommend going with the more off-road-centric transmission. I know I'm going with the highway-centric one here, but the dedicated low range in the highway transmission is really good, actually. I haven't run into any issues yet where I'm like, okay, this thing can't go any further. So let me see if you can continue on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. There we go. You know, I've got to say, it's not sinking. It's really not. What happens, and my god, the way it actually, like, when you realize how incredibly long the frame is, it's not quite twin steer long, but it's getting up there. Now, let's see what it does in this deeper stuff. I'm deliberately not plunging myself into the middle of this mud pit, because I know if I do that, I'll be in some deep trouble. All right, come on. Ease your way around. It's still moving, though. It hasn't stopped yet. That's the biggest thing I want to drive home about this truck, is that it has not stopped its forward motion. The point at which it stops its forward motion is the point at which it's basically stuck. But, I mean, if you're willing to forget about the fact that the turning circle is that of a moon, you'll really enjoy it. And if you like old school semi-trucks, this is definitely one for your garage. That's for dang sure. Now, it appears as though we are inadvertently going to be doing a rock test. Or at least a loose rock test. I'm not really too bothered about the fact that we're going to be doing a little bit of a test on these loose rocks, but, I mean, I kind of wanted to avoid them. But look at that. I have had the steering wheel cranked, and it won't turn. It will not turn. Not with that much weight behind it, it won't turn, even with the weighted bumper. But, again, we are, and I know I've addressed this a lot, but we really are pushing the limits of what you should be hauling with this thing, so I completely understand why it doesn't want to turn. I mean, we have an 8-slot trailer fully loaded with concrete slabs. That is one of the most over-the-top loads you could possibly haul in this game. Now let's make our way. Let's see if we can actually even remotely make our way to the dips obstacle. I'm sure it'll do it because it's got so many points of contact with the ground, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it'll do it reliably, let's say. So that's what we're here to find out. Now, I'm also not really loving this, there we go. I'm not really loving that dreary weather. Let's change that up real quick. The beauty of dev tools. Aren't dev tools a wonderful thing? All right, turn your wheel the other side. Let's go. That's close enough. Well, is it close enough? I don't know. I mean, we're kind of in the dips obstacle. Sort of, kind of remotely in the dips obstacle. We're making some headway. Oh my god. It's doing this in 4th gear. I'd like to just have y'all direct your eyes to the gear indicator. It shifted up to 4th while doing that. Now, granted, it may have pulled the entire front axle off the ground, but we're not going to worry about that. That's fine. So now it's time to go to the bridge jump. And the last time I went to the bridge jump with a long trailer like this, I went about it the wrong way and came about it from the other side, and I couldn't make the turn. But see, I've been smart this time. I'm going at it from the correct direction, and we're actually going to get a bridge jump out of this thing. I predict that we're going to go so fast that we're going to end up in the trees, and with this much weight behind the truck, we might actually knock a couple of trees over. I don't know, but I'm very excited to find out. It also has working gauges. That's really cool. All right, come on. I'm going to have to use the winch to pull myself around. Oh my god. Just like, look, I'm steering with the winch more than I'm steering with the truck. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know, but regardless, it's a thing. So let's back you up once again. Pulling it to the... Never mind. Where are you pulling to? Oh, I don't want you to pull over there. Left. Left. Or not. The fact that this thing does not want to go left is kind of... It's kind of weird. I love how I literally said earlier, I was like, yeah, we're approaching it from the correct direction, so we'll definitely be able to get up to the bridge jump this time. Maybe not. Come on, turn in. Turn in. Turn in. There she goes. She's making decent headway now. All right, not bad. Not bad. Not bad. On the side. Come on. All right, come on. Just pull. Just pull. Just pull. I'm like so close to... Ooh. This really does not want to get up this hill. At the end of the day, it is absolutely struggling every step of the way because of all that weight back there. It's not struggling to drive. It's just struggling to keep the front axle down. All right. Moment of truth. Here we go. Bridge jump. Let's go. There's 9th gear. Oh my God. Full send. Suspension's already completely damaged. Truck bounced. Fuel tanks are ruptured. But you know what? At the end of the day, the truck still drives. And we could, if we wanted to, go ahead and repair it. And it'd be good as new. And it would drive to see another day. So if you guys enjoyed this look at this truck, make sure to let me know your thoughts and opinions on it in the comments below. And especially if you've driven it, let me know what your experience has been like on your respective PC or console. And if you're new around here and would like to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to y'all later, and I hope you guys enjoyed.